Hey everyone, welcome back to Unhitched or Dad Trying. That's right.
You got it.
I got it. We're on episode 15.
I can't believe that.
We're in the mid-teens.
Yeah. We are a disgruntled, angry, high school freshman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you a disgruntled, angry high school freshman?
I don't know anyone who wasn't. I mean, I wasn't really that angry. I was disgruntled.
Okay, maybe it was, I guess I really don't know the difference between disgruntled and angry.
I think disgruntled is like
you're gruntled and you just do away with it. Right?
You're like hormonal and you're like I'm just like I'm full of angst and I don't know why I'm so mad at you, Mom.
Yeah, I had a lot of nights in my room when I was a freshman. I just remember that I knew that I was right and that I could argue my parents out of anything. Like there was such confidence that I knew things way better than they did.
And then yet now you look back and you're like, oh, I was all wrong.
Yeah, I was a little piece of crap.
Yeah.
A little piece of poop. So we have a guest with us. Well, I don't like it when we delay too far and just make our guest sit in silence.
No, me neither.
His name's Sean. That's about all I know.
We've got Sean Hill with us today.
Hi, guys. Glad to be here.
Hey, Sean.
Good to see you.
Glad you're here on the podcast.
Yes.
I mean that in all sincerity.
You always turn into like radio DJs. Yeah.
No, I just met you 20 minutes ago.
That's true. Yeah. So far, so good. Mm-hmm. I like what we have going.
We talked Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little sports.
Yeah, sure. We talked about Dude Perfect. That's sports. That's as far as into sports as I go. As Dude Perfect.
I'm the sports fan on this show. I'm the sports fan.
Okay.
So you took the word fan and you...
I made it smaller.
Smaller. Smushed it and made it smaller.
I'm a sports fan around here.
Yeah. Well, I usually like to start the podcast out with something, some might consider a little unusual. I usually like to... sit down with Lauren and kind of get into some of the deeper things, and so I'll start us off. How's it going?
How's it going, Cam? I never expect you to ask that. It's going well. It's very busy. Yeah. Busy all the time.
No kidding.
Yeah. Surprise.
How bad is it this week?
It's been really bad this week, but it's also been really fun. So
Can we please just give a rundown? I want the listeners to really know how crazy packed your week is.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to pull out your calendar, but
I won't. I'll
it's
go
just
really quickly.
Amazing to me.
Yeah. Okay. So Sunday was Super Bowl. That's the last time we recorded, actually.
'Tis.
So that was really fun. So that was nothing I had to do. It's everything I got to do. Then Monday was work until 6:30. Then got to improv work. I had improv until 9:30 that night, which was awesome. So fun. Y'all should both take improv. Tuesday, maybe. What did I do? Oh, Tuesday. Oh, y'all. I went to a improv jam session at Dallas Comedy House.
What is a jam? How do you jam improv?
It's free. You can go. Anyone can go. And you can get put into a group to go up and try improv. So it's a free thing, and it's free because a lot of time it's students that are doing the improv.
I thought you were going to say because it's stupid.
Oh, no. Because it's stupid. No, so you go and you sit and there's drinks and there's food and you just go and you watch improv. So I did my first improv on stage in front of people.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't even tell us about this?
I did. I performed.
Are you
a
little shy in letting friends into this yet? Or is this...
Well, maybe a little. I had my friend Rachel Chester. She was a guest on the online dating episode. Yes. Mm-hmm. And she came, but she left before I performed because I actually didn't think I was going to. And y'all, I was so nervous, but it went really well. The only thing is, it was with other level ones, and some of them were horrible. Level
ones, Magic the Gathering level 1 players.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're not. I don't know anything about Magic.
That's okay. I prefer you don't.
To make a joke, but so me and this other girl were in the scene together, and we were doing really well, and then these other 3 level ones jumped in, and just it was one of those things when you see improv, you're just like, this is a train wreck. And we just kind of had to sit there because you have to just yes and it and keep going.
They
which
should
was
fix
hard.
improv by not doing that. Because when it's stupid, you should quit.
All right, scene's over. You guys suck. Get off the stage.
That's enough.
Yeah, that'd be really good for your confidence.
I don't, like I said earlier, I'm so scared of it. I got to give you mad props, as we men used to say. We don't say that anymore. Mad props to you, because it could be great or it could be awful. And but was it like awful, or is it like, did y'all manage?
Here's how I described it to Rachel later. I said, it was awful. I was not. Just to
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, to kind of make
Isn't
it
that
less
how we look at all life?
scary.
Yeah.
Because I know, just looking at it, just like sitting on that stage in those moments of like sheer horror, like this is tanking. You're like, this is going down. But in my head, I was like, but it's not my fault. Okay, I don't feel so bad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What was the overall reception like from the audience?
It was very mild. It was very mild. Like, woohoo! Very polite. Very like, we're supporting you. Good for you.
Free drinks. This is great.
They're not free.
Oh, no.
Which, yeah, they probably
Well,
were
then
drinking
forget the
heavily
jam.
after.
Yeah, probably.
But so I did that, which was so fun and so like kind of thrilling. That was Tuesday night.
We don't have
Wednesday
to go
night-
into every.
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. That's good. Because this is just boring.
This is where it cuts in the movie.
Entertainment.
It's like 45 minutes later,
Yeah.
and you're on Saturday.
Lauren's still talking about her Tuesday. But I did go dancing last night, which was really fun.
Electronic dance.
Two-stepping.
Oh.
I did not go electronic dancing, whatever that is. Is that Dance Dance Revolution?
Sure.
Oh, like EDM.
EDM.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Electronic
Electronic
dance?
Yeah.
dance.
So what do you call the movements when you get into EDM?
Seizing?
The robot? I don't know. Seizing? Probably. I don't know. Like, for country you have two-stepping and all this. For the waltz you have the waltz.
Right. For swing dancing, you have the swing dancing.
And then for
The
the...
schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
What does that have to do with anything?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah, dancing was great. And, all right, Sean, please
Wow.
save us. Tell us what's been going on with you.
A lot of EDM as well. Yeah. Yeah, so not actually into EDM, but I was thinking about EDM dance moves, and for me, it's just like I'm just going to move, my arms.
Just your arms?
While the strobe light's going, because isn't that like when you're like, oh my gosh, look, this is awesome.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what you do. It
I don't
still
have a
looks
ton
cool.
of EDM stuff going on.
I imagine a lot of like head bobbing with EDM too, because it's a lot of like white guys trying to dance cool, and that's like the white guy dance move.
Yeah, well, I think European white guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, our problem as, white people dancing is we're top heavy with our movements. We really
Very
don't know
true.
how to use below the waist.
That's a good way to describe it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So EDM, I really
I
don't
don't
even.
remember how we got on that.
I don't know
either.
either.
We
Didn't even. We like totally glossed over Lauren and her two-stepping experience. I mean,
You're like, screw two-stepping.
Yeah.
EDM.
Sean, tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, first off,
Well-
how's it? Did you
I
even
already
ask?
asked him
You
that.
already
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did
how's
he
it going?
say?
It's going well.
Yeah.
It's going really well. I'm getting married in 20 days.
Woohoo.
That's kind of the big thing going on in my life.
Yeah.
That's
A lot
pretty-
of wedding planning going on, or is that kind of your
Uh,
domain?
Well, no. Yes and no. But we're really close, so there's most of the planning's done. So now we're just waiting.
Can I ask you what you're like, as far as the ceremony and the reception? That's what it's called. What are you most excited about? Like, what is the one thing that you were like, we have to do this?
I wanted to invite just a ton of people, just because that's my personality.
Right.
When I'm friends with somebody, it's like they're my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And my sweet fiance Emily has been very patient and very kind to say, "Hey, when was the last time you talked to that person?" I'm like 5 years ago, but we used to be so close. And so up to me, we would have had about 700 people there. But I'm excited to have the people there that we do have.
Right.
I'm just excited to get to party with a bunch of my best friends.
That's
That's
good.
All
cool.
400 of them.
It's all about the being surrounded by your
That's right.
your family and friends. That's the
Tear.
That's a good reason to be excited. I'm
He's
like,
crying right now.
Oh my God. Give me a second. I'll be back.
Pull it together.
I do love going to big weddings.
That's true. I you can't lose.
Right. I mean, I think bigger weddings are better when you don't know the person that well, so you have more chances to see more people and kind of form your little wedding clique, because wedding cliques happen whether
Absolutely.
you have control over it or not.
That's a sequel to Wedding Crashers coming out in 2018. Wedding Cliques.
Wedding clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Are they doing another one?
Yes.
Oh, that could be interesting. Anyway,
They're not.
oh, they aren't.
I'm sorry, I just lied to you.
But there is a movie with Anna Kendrick coming out where it's like the random people table, which also
Really?
always happens at a wedding.
Oh, I'm always at that table.
Our wedding is going to be you can sit wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Which
nice.
look,
So that naturally is going to happen.
It's naturally, it's naturally going to happen.
You're going to have that one guy that you just love that you met doing that one job training like 5 years ago.
That's right.
And you loved him. You love him to death, but he doesn't know anyone, and so he's going to end up with your Aunt Bertha, or and but that happened at our wedding. We're very aware of that, but it's fine.
Yeah, no, that's part of the fun of weddings is you never know who you're going to meet and what's going to happen. But I'm just going to say, no one ever actually meets someone at a wedding.
No.
That doesn't happen. People
No.
great place to meet someone. I'm like, what weddings are you going to? That never happens.
I've never heard of that working.
No.
I think I have one friend, actually.
My parents.
Really?
Your parents. So, your very existence is
Dependent on
that theory being false.
I feel like such an idiot. That's true. My dad was an usher and my mom was a bridesmaid.
Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Neat.
Yeah, sorry guys. Love you. Thanks for getting together.
Does your dad listen? We talked. Your mom doesn't really listen. Does your dad listen?
My dad listened long enough to tell me that I should be a radio DJ, which I thought was really sweet.
That
That's
seems
sweet.
like a positive review.
Yeah, he's like, your voice is very clear and I can hear everything you're saying. And that's when you know someone's listening that's over the age of 60, is they're more concerned with the audible clarity. Like, I can hear you.
You're making sense. You're not having any problems at all.
You don't
I'm
sound
impressed your
fuzzy.
dad can use podcasts.
I taught him, and my sister
There you
helped
go.
him. But it's okay. I was impressed too.
Yeah.
I'll let him know that you're impressed by him.
Please.
Yeah.
We're finding out that the average person cannot podcasts.
I know.
It's just, oh, I hear you have a podcast. Can you show me
How to do that?
Even close family is just like, how do I get onto your podcast? I'm like, I don't know if you get onto it. Anyway, that's just common.
That's true.
But going back to the wedding, I want to ask,
Yeah.
what is favorite wedding tradition? So you have ceremony, you have all your
Sure.
things planned out. Aside from the moment, sure. But what are your favorite things? Wedding, reception? We'll keep it within the confines of just those two
Yeah,
things.
sure. Yeah. I love dancing, and I have a lot of friends that love to dance at weddings. And so that'll be a blast.
Got a good DJ?
I still am in need of a DJ, actually.
Oh, dang.
Really?
Yeah, if you're interested. I'm just
I can
looking for
make a
somebody basically to
playlist.
press play and make some announcements. I've DJ'd several weddings myself, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you being a great DJ.
I
Because
could-
it's just pressing play and making announcements.
Just look up, new what's that Cupid song, and then hit
the
whatever
Cupid
the
slide.
Spotify create
Stupid
radio off of
Cupid.
that.
Yes.
The new
To the left.
Oh, Cupid Shuffle.
Cupid Shuffle.
Oh,
I'm so
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, and then you
That
shuffle
one,
off
and
that.
then there's two that are similar, but they both tell you what to do. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
there's
Cupid Shuffle, and then it's not
Take
the
it back now, y'all.
Yeah.
That one.
1, 2,
One hop this time.
1.
Charlie Brown, and nobody knows what that is.
I know everyone does something different.
Everyone's like, "Meh."
Hey, if I'm not doing anything, I will DJ your wedding.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of a microphone,
I can, this is a good thing.
No.
obviously.
You're very close to that.
Um,
Sorry, we didn't clean your mic this week. That could have been Lauren's from last week. Yeah.
that's all right.
Sean
I
looks
can't smell,
down in disgust.
Actually, so no big deal.
Yeah, Sean doesn't have a sense
I've
of
never
smell.
had a sense of smell. Fun
Is that
fact.
true? Really?
Very true.
Oh, that's such a
I've got
bummer.
a lot of random little fun facts about me.
Really? What
We
do
might
you
have to have you on another episode.
to explore?
My high school mascot was the unicorn.
Oh, where did you go to
New
high school?
Braunfels High School.
Okay. So I had a friend that went to that same high school.
Matt Johnson?
I think that's
We
I don't
had
know if
this
that-
conversation
yeah.
before we recorded.
someone I knew had the unicorn as their mascot as well. I
Well, it's
don't-
the only unicorn mascot in the country.
really.
I'll have you know.
That
Yeah.
is really unique.
Can you
which
say that
is-
about your high school mascot?
I cannot.
Probably not.
No, I had a
Eagles.
bird. Oh, bird. Wait,
Was
you had the
yours a-
Eagles?
Was your
Mine was the Cardinal.
oh birds?
Sweet.
Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, so unicorn's pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
I figured you would say something like you're colorblind or.
Well, I mean, I can't smell, so that's another sense gone.
Yeah.
Tell me when your sense of smell has really like benefited your life and
High
when
school
it's,
football locker room.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I assume I've never been in one
Yeah.
You say that like
There's not much
yet.
to it.
that anyone knows of.
There's not much to it. No, yeah, I never had to smell that stuff. I'll be able to change every diaper if I have kids,
That's
Yeah.
true.
and I'm fine with it.
There you go.
So, I mean, you're probably not going to catch whiffs of things. You could take out the trash. That's
Yeah.
now your job.
Yeah.
but also,
for the rest of your life.
you would not be good to have like in case of like the house was on fire. You wouldn't wake up to the smell
Well,
of smoke.
yes. So I would not wake up to the smell of smoke, but once I knew, then I think I would because of my heroic tendencies.
Of course.
Right. Let's not.
I was going to say
No,
that
I'm just
next.
kidding.
So, do we have like a daredevil effect going on with you where the one sense goes away, the other's heightened? Where do you think
Yes.
your other
I can
senses have
see really well.
Do you really have do you have 20/20?
I have like 2015 vision.
Ooh, I think that's better, right?
I think so. Which makes
It's
no
like
sense
5
to me.
less, but
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
And then I feel like I can hear really well.
That's
also,
good.
I keep
really
hitting my
cool.
mouth on this microphone.
You can taste
That's
it really
it.
well.
you couldn't smell how close away it was,
Yeah.
which is
Well, but see, I think my taste is affected.
that's
Oh.
true.
So that's the number one question I get is
I was about to ask.
can you taste?
Mm-hmm.
And so the way I describe it is I can taste really well on like a macro level. Like I can take a bite of, something and have the taste, but I can't be like, there's a hint of cilantro in there.
Oh,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a bummer.
Right.
I'm
But I
sorry.
like everything. Like there's
That's-
almost no food that I don't like.
really.
Interesting.
So you don't have. Is there maybe one? I feel like everyone has at least the one they'll stay away from.
I don't love celery.
yeah.
There's nothing much
There's
to
not
love.
there's not that much.
What
of
is
a
celery
taste to
doing
me.
for us in the world?
Is it true that you burn more calories when you eat?
digesting it? That's
Yeah.
what I've heard. And because it's so fibrous that your body has to work harder to
Yeah.
digest it. And it gives you a lot of water, which is nice. It's a really like water
so
filled
is watermelon.
plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celery seems like the appendix of vegetables and foods in general.
The appendix of
Yeah,
them.
because you don't really use your appendix,
Oh yeah, but it's there.
but it's there.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
just meant like in terms of if vegetables were a book, celery would be the appendix. I mean,
much like
That's
yeah,
kind of a
I don't
good
use
one,
the
too.
appendix.
Celeries are good. Celery's good for like
Celery.
seasoning stews, making bone broth, making that kind of thing.
Making, I don't know, they're served with hot wings. I don't know why we serve them with hot
With
wings.
hot wings,
Yeah.
they are just a
I think it's 'cause
vehicle
it's
for
just
blue
cheap.
cheese and
Yeah,
ranch
it's just to
dressing.
apply the dressing
Yeah, to
or
your
whatever
mouth.
dipping. But I don't ever use that. I
And
just
then-
dip the wing.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than giving someone utensils.
Yeah. Man, I
Probably.
love chicken wings.
Maybe there's something here. Maybe our utensils in the future should be made of celery.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'd be
edible.
onto something. Edible
Yeah.
utensils.
This is good.
Hey, for real, that's an idea I've never heard before.
Yeah, I'll get on
Cameron,
it later.
we should take this off the podcast before someone steals it.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to go back to the food things. I remember hearing legends of your ability to like eat Whataburger, things
Sure.
like that.
So
It was
this was
before
back
I
when
even
I worked at camp. A
I
lot.
didn't even know you. I knew of you. That's how far these legends reach.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
sad. It's good to be known. Good to have a legacy. People knew that I was really stubborn and that I could eat a lot. Mm-hmm. And so they capitalized on both of those to make me do eating challenges all the time. And so the one you're referring to is, you know how you go to Whataburger, which is just, I love Whataburger, but those 4 all-time favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So I ate all 4 of those in one sitting in like 22 minutes.
With fries or no fries?
No, but I did wash it down with a large chocolate shake.
That is more impressive than anything.
Well, that just
Is-
filled in the cracks.
Seeped down in there.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Can you name the 4 what they are?
Oh, I can tell you what they were then. They changed seasonally. But it was like the patty melt, the
That's a solid choice.
that's always there. The
It's one of my
A1
favorites.
thick and hearty, which is also always there, and then the chicken strip one. The barbecue.
That is good.
No.
Or it's like the honey chicken strip
Yes, the barbecue
sandwich.
chicken strip one.
Okay.
Those three are always there. Mm-hmm. They can't ever find a fourth one to stay steady.
Yeah, it's like
kinda
an
the cast
avocado.
of Whose line is it anyway?
Right.
They never found that solid fourth person
You're right.
that always stayed there.
They brought in that weird guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
He never was
Greg
as good.
Proops.
Greg Proops, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Greg Proops is more like it.
Yeah, so it was
He
one
was
of those.
great. He was fine.
He was fine.
Fine is not great.
You're
They
just
used to
jealous
have-
because you're
sometimes they'd
never
have,
going to
like-
be as good as him.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Improv,
Were you
though.
there on Tuesday?
No.
You were great, but the bit was not.
It was fine.
I think Greg Proops walks away from Whose Line Is It Anyway like, that bald guy and that guy who plays Ryan on
They're
Drew Carey
level
show
ones.
sucks.
Yeah.
They're level ones. They used to have Robin Williams fill that fourth spot a couple times.
They had
I
who?
do remember
So that was really great.
So you have your Colin Mockery, your Wayne Brady,
Ryan Stiles.
Ryan Stiles, and then Greg Proops. But there was another
There
guy
was
that
a
was
handsome
who was a
one.
yes,
Yeah, the handsome
and I
one.
don't
Wait,
I ever
he
remember
wasn't
his name.
that handsome.
He was handsome. He looked like
He
he
was.
was like
No
the love
way.
interest on a Full House episode for like if Aunt Becky was trying to make Uncle Jesse jealous or something.
Sure.
That was a long explanation. of
What
it.
episode was that?
It wasn't one. It's like if
Must have been
if-
Fuller House.
if Full House went south.
Oh,
I'm gonna
did.
figure
It's
this
called-
out.
Speaking of Full House going south, Fuller House.
Fuller.
Yeah.
Down
How
south.
do you feel about that?
I watched one episode and I was like, "This is it. I don't need to watch anymore."
I've watched both seasons, to be honest.
Did you like?
Because
Obviously,
it's
you must have
easy
liked
to.
it.
That's-
Well, no, it's so cheesy. It makes me go, man, was it that bad as a kid, and did I still love it? And probably so.
Yes, I remember. So I used to come home from school every day and watch. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out who the attractive guy on Whose Line Is It Anyway is. I watched Full House every day at 4 p.m. on CBS, and I remember that's when it was on. They took it off one day. They stopped airing it, so I wrote my local CBS a letter complaining that they took took Full House off at 4, and I was really upset by it. My next door neighbor Kelly, and I sat down and wrote this strongly worded but kind letter to CBS.
To CBS.
Dear CBS. Yeah, we were
Is
pretty
that the guy
upset.
you're thinking of?
Oh, Brad Sherwood.
Yeah, that's him.
That's
He's
not-
a
That's not a good
That
picture
is
of him.
not the one I'm thinking of.
That
Maybe
is
Oh,
just
you're thinking of this guy.
That's who I'm thinking of, Charles Evan.
Charles Evan. He's
looks
yeah.
like he's
They're
on
both
Nashville.
handsome.
Cameron, your description of attractive is so different from mine.
Yeah, he's Deacon on Nashville.
Oh, I don't watch that show. Oh, I don't watch that show.
I don't either.
That could be a segment.
Shows I don't watch. Fuller House.
Fuller House. So I think, should jump into Topic Thunder.
I agree.
I've been aching to talk about this movie. I've had no one to talk about this movie with, and it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Boom, 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 Topic Thunder. What?
Topic Thunder, what indeed? Okay, so let me back up. We're doing I Love Movies Month, which we could not find a better title for this because, like
Or
I said,
Jingle.
no, or jingle, but hey, Lauren's jingle will suffice for this podcast, for
Jingle
this
master.
segment. Yes, you're the jingle master.
Thank you.
That'd be great if I just pulled up your LinkedIn and that's what it said.
Lauren Neat added a new skill. Jingle Master.
I got an email about this. Guys, how
Congrats.
bad is LinkedIn?
Oh, it's the worst.
It's
I get
the
so many
worst.
notifications.
Do you? I mean, who browses LinkedIn? Like,
I don't know. It's like a social media outlet just for like kissing people's butts. You know?
it is true.
But then I feel really good when people congratulate me on
On a new job.
yeah, or when they like endorse me for like Lauren Neat is good at
Being
jingle
busy.
making. Good at juggling your life on the brink of a meltdown.
I mean, you do a great job. I don't do that when
you.
things get busy. You know, for me, it's just kind of like
Shut down.
yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's okay.
LinkedIn, stupid. You know what's not stupid?
What?
Well, I'm not going to give away anything. I Love Movie Month. Not stupid at all.
No.
So last week, Sean, we did La La Land. And so this month
picture.
we're looking at some of the top movies of some Oscar nominees. we're probably only going to do 2 more of these. We don't know what we're going to do next, but we're also looking at some of the top movies that we have never seen. So I think Lauren texted you Tuesday?
Yesterday.
Oh goodness! Did you really just I thought you were joking.
I wasn't joking, Cameron. I looked at my phone and I thought, did I ever send Sean what we chose? And I looked and I said, I didn't.
You kidding me?
I felt
Really?
horrible. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
How long did you know you were going to be on the podcast?
Weeks.
Oh, okay. There you go. And okay, you just got your assignment. That's fine.
It's fine.
That's fine.
You got it done. That's
you did your
It's okay.
homework. Great.
Yeah.
Got it crammed in. So this, you could tell from the episode title, we're doing Citizen Kane. AFI's, for many, considered to be the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So, do you want to go in and just kind of tell us
What
plot?
it's about?
What is this movie really about? Who is Citizen Kane?
I will do my best to talk about this movie because a lot of it I was a little like, what? Some of it was hard to follow. But so from what I gather, it starts out with the last word that Mr. Kane uttered before he died.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Yeah,
you.
I think now should we? I think with this we're going to go ahead and say that this segment we will go over spoilers.
It's a
Agreed.
75-year-old
It's
movie.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's kind of like it's on you at this point.
It's black and white movie. I didn't know that. Like, there are so many. I knew nothing about this movie.
In the 40s.
I know, but I didn't even know it was made in the 40s. I knew nothing, and I kind of liked that. I didn't know. I didn't read any summary. I didn't even read the Amazon summary of it because I rented it on Amazon Prime. And so it starts out with the last words of this guy as he died, and they are Rosebud, as he drops a snow globe and it breaks, and it's in this gigantic mansion.
Xanadu, as they called
Xanadu,
it.
the mansion. So the movie itself, it starts out really like extra, read all about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of what's the word? Exposition up front,
Yeah.
and you kind of get some of that maybe in transitions in those movies. For that time, you're like, so and so's huge Hollywood star, and
Right.
it's
like their version of a montage,
right,
kind of.
But that was a very long expositionary. That's the right word, sure. Part they spent a lot of time to really kind of touch the get to the foundation of who this person is. Who is Citizen Kane? That's kind of like the first 5 minutes, but you don't really get that deep into it. You're just
you got
get
the
backstory,
the skimmed, like the public life
the public
of this guy,
yeah.
right. So he dies, and it's world news basically, and you find that out. You find out that he was a very wealthy man in the newspaper business. So he's essentially lived this life where everything he ever wanted, he got. He never lived without anything. And you find out... So that's kind of like the summary of his life from the perspective of the public.
Right.
And then it jumps into like... These reporters are trying to figure out why his last word was Rosebud. And that's kind of like the like vein of the whole movie is
Mystery of the movie.
Right.
Yeah, like why
Which
Rosebud?
I was so confused because I didn't see anyone in the room. It was like no one was around him when he said that, and he said it so softly, and I was so confused by that because it was like three people at the end of the movie.
The butler was there. Or the nurse.
Butler, the
Yeah.
nurse, and like all these other people were there. But I thought it was interesting when we got to that part of the movie. Very interesting, cool lit scene. Like the lighting in this newsroom, it just was smoky. Everyone's smoking cigars, and they're going through this newsreel, and then they're having this discussion. You can't see anyone; it's all silhouettes, which I thought was weird. I like couldn't place the timing of this movie because that scene was so different than anything for like the 40s. I think this movie was 41. I was like, this is a weird scene. Like off the bat, I was like, that's odd, and I don't know. So you have this fixation on this one little thing that he says. And I was just like, oh, is this the movie? Is this like the driving point of the movie is to figure out what this is?
It was.
I know. And which was such a bummer because it's a spoiler that's out there. I knew what it was before.
You knew what it
did.
was?
I knew what
Did
it
you read
was.
it?
What's that? No, it's
You
just
just remembered?
it's been spoiled in so many TV shows and like different things over the years. That's all I knew about this movie.
Really?
And so I was kind of bummed to find out.
I'm so glad I didn't know what it was. Don't say it yet, though.
I won't. No.
Okay.
We'll let you spoil it.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do the honors. But so basically, that's the gist of it. These journalists are interviewing different people in his life to figure out what this word meant to him.
Right.
Essentially.
And you get snapshots of his life through those interviews.
Right, like little flashbacks and kind of understanding, which I think that's... So I'm not going to lie. Watching the movie, I was disappointed. I was like, this is the best movie of all time. Mm-hmm. But then, so I watched an hour and 30 minutes of it, and then I paused it and I went dancing all night. And I came back this morning and I finished the rest of it after I had lunch. So I watched the last 30 minutes, which to me, the last 30 minutes, it made the movie for me. Like everything, I took so many notes. It was one of those movies, like you said, Cameron, where when you finish, you just want to talk about it.
Right.
You want to be like, what'd you think? Did you think this meant this? I thought that, and so, which makes it a good movie. But up until then, I didn't really... I still don't think it's the best movie ever made.
Yeah, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me stop you there because I think there are two things going on here. And I watched a video and I did a little research after watching it. And people say, for the most part, in the public, that you really now it's the best movie of all time. And there are multiple places, really AFI, and there's another one like Sights and Sounds are like these two, I guess, movie ratings, and that's where the critics just kind of all gather together and say these are the best movies. So it's been in the top slot for years and years and years, generations and like 4 or 5 generations. It's been the top movie, and people say it's the best movie, but people have a healthy understanding that it's not going to be a favorite movie. And when it comes down to you and your own preference, it's not going to be really anyone's, unless you really knew the history of the movies at the time. There's no way this is going to be anyone's favorite movie. Mm-hmm. Which apparently,
unless you're lying.
Yes, which is interesting you bring that up. I watched an interview where Donald Trump has said this is his favorite movie. Very interesting YouTube video. Check it out. Donald Trump doesn't know what Citizen Kane is about. It's very interesting because he did a 2001 interview in which he talks about why Citizen Kane is his favorite movie. And to further and kind of finish the plot here, you kind of find out, you see the de-evolution of this man over the course of his life. And he's charming at first. And you see this kid who's kind of been, parents come into some money, they throw him into, this higher education, they rush through that, and then you find out, he takes over this newspaper and becomes a newspaper tycoon and buys all these other businesses. But through it, you just see him become just this very crappy person. Mm-hmm. And Donald Trump actually was talking about he identifies with this person. And even in that, he Citizen Kane ran for office at one point and was caught in a scandal, but he does not see how much of a crazed, insane person this guy is. Donald Trump in the interview said he had sympathy for him by the end.
Oh, I have a ton of sympathy for Mr. Kane.
Really?
I have nothing but sympathy
Looks
for
like
Mr.
Lauren's going
Kane.
to run for president in
Interesting.
20 years.
2040, that's me.
Make America better.
I'm shocked you don't have sympathy for him. That really surprised
me. I did,
me.
and I told Amy this. I'm sure I have sympathy for him at the beginning. You watch this, you look at him. The story seems to be about a little bit of his childhood, and you see this innocent child, and he's thrust into this life.
Don't say thrust, please.
And I don't know, for the early years, maybe for the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie, I have a little bit of sympathy. You see this guy who's. You see that he's lonely towards the end, and you get that, but he put himself there. You really, towards the end, that is just where he ended up. I think he deserved what he got. Because life throws things at you, and in this case, life threw things at him. You got to deal with what you got.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of he's very idealistic. Mm-hmm. He's going to change the world for the better.
Right.
We're going to be for the people and the people that are misheard and not heard. Like you think about his principles that he puts in the front page, and eventually it just becomes really corrupt.
Right, and it's
Absolute power
sad.
corrupts absolutely.
This is interesting. So did you Sean? Did you have sympathy for him at the end?
A little bit. I don't know. It reminded me a lot of other movies and TV shows that I've
Right.
seen, where once you get a lot of power, you become pretty corrupt. I mean,
Right.
think about, or it reveals. I think more so reveals kind of the corruption that was already there in your heart.
Innate,
Like Breaking
right.
Bad, probably a great example of this. And so I don't know that I felt a ton of sympathy for him.
Okay.
On some level, yes. But at the same time, he kind of reaped what he sowed.
I think you're with me in that it's more you have this sympathy. It's relatable. Everyone can be relatable. Who's to say we wouldn't be the same person if we came into that? And I think
Sure.
it's innate in all of us, that we can become that crazed, that selfish, that greedy. And I think that I just have this, it's a take on man,
Yeah.
and you just see this at the end, just a very depressing picture of man and just how this is very much innate in us. And so I'm sad about that.
Yeah.
I think there is going to be a little bit of sympathy. Yes, Lauren, like for him.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I'm
he's a victim
honestly-
of.
I'm surprised. Like I was really heartbroken for him. I wasn't angry with him at all.
Really?
At all. Like I really wasn't. I felt very much like he was the product of a loveless life. And
Yeah.
so everything he did was in the pursuit of being loved. And even
I do agree with that.
I wrote down some quotes, and I think he tried everything he could to the best of his ability to be a lovable person. Like do you remember that scene where he's talking with his second wife, Susan,
The singer,
the
right.
singer, and they're
The opera
fighting.
singer.
The amateur singer.
Yeah,
Right, very.
And they're fighting, and they're in that tent. And he looks at her and he says, "Don't you know I love you?" And she looks back at him and says, "You don't love me. You just want me to love you." And so it hit me in that moment watching this. I was like, he doesn't know how to love anyone because everything he did, he broke. And I don't think it was out of this desire for self-gain. I think it was out of a desire for like with the friend that he fired, like he was one of his
Yeah.
only friends and he didn't know what else to do because he was just like you can tell there's like this disconnect, like I don't know how to be your friend,
So you really don't see him as a narcissist, then, do you?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I think we're all narcissists.
Right.
But I think what broke my heart is that even like the way he pushed Susan to sing, it was like in his mind, he was like, she said she wanted to be a singer, so I am going to do everything I can to make her dream come true.
So if Ryan Gosling went crazy in La La Land, was like, you're going to do this.
Yeah. But then it all comes from this selfish perspective of like, if she's successful, then people will love me too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's I think the main motive of him.
Right.
Him
It
pushing
is.
her.
It is.
And I
But
think,
he pushed her to a point of suicide.
yeah.
I mean,
Right.
that's...
Well, no one's perfect.
Because it wasn't about like ultimately I don't think it was about like this is what she wants, so this is what I'm going to push her to. This is what I want her to be for me.
And that's
I think
what she
the
said.
the self-gain I think a lot of times comes from that love of self. Eventually that'll drive you to pursue things for self-gain. And his friend Leland said the same thing where he's like, the only person that guy ever loved was Charlie Kane.
Right.
So
I think I wrote that down.
Now, yeah, I think at the end of the day, you see, I maybe would argue, I love that at the beginning he was charming. Orson Welles playing the lead actor, Citizen Kane, and Orson Welles co-wrote, directed, did all this. But at the beginning, Orson Welles as Citizen Kane, when he wrote the charter for the newspaper company, I think he was honestly in a place where there really wasn't going to be any self-gain in the end.
Right.
I think it was only kind of towards the second half of the movie that every motive, everything he did, the common denominator was this: how do I receive love? How do I move myself? How do I get the world to love me? And I'm having like the hardest time. I guess sure this is a slow progression or de-evolution into that state, but I can't really see when that really officially happened. It just maybe when they were having dinner with his first wife, and
that was one of the best scenes.
Really, what did you like about that?
I loved how visibly, how just the way that they shot it, you could see the degradation of this marriage.
Yeah.
And did you notice he didn't actually tell her he loved her when he sat down, and she looked beautiful at that table, and she was sitting like on one side, and he sat catty corner to her, and he's like, "Do you know how much I adore you?" is what he said, or something along those lines. And she was like, "I know, Charles." And they're sitting there, and as the scenes flip by,
this is when it's cycling through in the future.
You see her become you see their faces go from smiling and happy, and you see his just turn into his brows start to furrow. Each scene, he looks more and more beaten down and angry. And
and they aged him through that.
They did, yeah. And so somehow it was in that. It's it was in that season where he changed.
I guess that's his montage, if you will.
But by the end of that scene, they're sitting.
I liked
at
Rocky's montage better.
That could be next week's episode.
It could be.
At the end of the scene, they're sitting at opposite ends of the long table, and she's reading his
competitor's
newspaper. And he's just looking at her with disdain.
I know.
And you can tell she's just as angry that they're married. And so I think there was a quote in the movie which I think is really interesting, that we're talking about this love thing, and I don't remember who says it. Y'all rack your brains, help me think. It might have been Mr. Kane. He says, "Toast to love on my terms. Those are the only terms anyone ever knows."
That was a conversation between Kane and was it Mr. Bernstein?
Maybe.
Or is it Leland?
But if you think of that quote itself,
was that the one right before he gets in the carriage with Emily?
I really don't know. I think that was we don't know what we're talking about. No, but I think it was.
I thought we were watching Surf Ninjas. That was
right.
I thought that was the movie we were supposed to watch. So I'm really confused.
This is totally different.
I think it's before they brought out the girls. Whatever that scene was.
Yeah, when they were having their newspaper
with the
celebration.
band.
Yes.
Yeah, that was an interesting scene. I love the disgust Amy had in that moment where he brought out all the girls. Amy was just like, "Bleh." He was kind of parading them around.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just,
what are women good for if not to do that, right?
Yeah.
Good answer, guys. So the pursuit of love, would y'all? Because that's really what I was getting out of this whole thing.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm. But not a love that's actually a healthy love,
Right.
Absolutely not.
He gets adopted when he's 8 by Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
And Fletcher's just the worst.
Yeah, he's a cold, creepy man, and
yeah.
So
his dad was cold too.
Yeah,
seemingly.
It seemed like his mom, the main reason was to get him away from his dad.
Yeah.
Is that what y'all got from that?
Yeah. Well, he apparently was abusive. They talked about that for a split second there. That was another scene that I was watching it, and the kid's in the background, and you can see him playing perfectly, and they're having this conversation, and even in that moment, that was such a weird scene. Do you remember that? Because you can see everything going on. You see this innocent child playing in the back, just on his sled, and just this very heavy conversations in the foreground of just, we're giving this child up because we want him to have this great education, and they alluded to the fact this father is beating his son. They quickly gloss over it, and I thought that was interesting. I cannot picture any movie, even around the 40s, 50s, and 60s having that heavy of a scene like that. I don't know. And it was just beautifully lit. I don't know. It was I even turned to Amy. I'm like, this is a weird scene. This, I can't wrap my mind around it.
With the mom right up in the camera and her jet black hair. And
yeah.
Ooh, it's spooky. Kind of spooky.
It's a heavy scene. And so... he inherits all this stuff, and money corrupts, absolutely. And you have this abusive father, you have this background, he's going to Fletcher. I mean, who can blame him?
That's where I'm getting, and that's
Right.
why I was so surprised.
But I think I guess my take is that eventually you just got to wake up and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And I thought he was. I thought when he showed up at the newspaper and did the charter and say, "I'm going to be for the people," I thought he was there. But that didn't seem to be true.
But I really don't see where he got where the corruption was, because I felt like he fought against corruption, like when that guy tried to blackmail him and he stood his ground, because he didn't actually have that scandal, like that didn't happen. Right. So in a way, in my mind, he was, like you said, Sean, just so idealistic. Like he couldn't like bear anything not being truth.
Well, but then, and I had to read a little more about this, but there's a lot of subtext there with that Spanish-American War where he manipulated a lot of public opinion. Like he, as I read more about the plot after seeing the movie,
get this at all.
He successfully manipulated public opinion around that Spanish-American War, saying he thought America should get into it. His buddy Leland did not, but in a way that like made him look really great, like and came out with him like on top, and people are like, oh, he's going to be president one day, even because of the way he was manipulating public opinion. I didn't pick up on a ton of that in the movie, but I had to read more about it.
A lot of parallels to what's it's just interesting.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting. A lot of modern day parallels.
I think I would be interested to see how much of this movie we would pick up way more of if we watched it 30 years ago. You know what I mean? 50 years ago instead of in 2017. Not really being that close to the Spanish-American War.
Right.
I
can tell you nothing about the Spanish-American War.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, when is that?
Yeah, I know. I heard
is that
the
1700s?
I know. Panama Canal, and I was like, oh, cool. That's around during this movie.
Yeah, sure.
I know the Panama Canal. Yeah.
There's like 40 miles or something of it? Or is that the Erie? I don't know.
One of those canals.
So, yeah, I feel like we're very disconnected from this movie, like, at least timeline-wise,
Now, I looked down at some of the list of top movies of all time. One of the ones that often ends in the second spot outside of Citizen Kane is Vertigo, Alfred Hitchcock's movie. Have any of y'all seen that?
I haven't seen it.
I've never seen Vertigo. I've seen Rear Window.
Right. Rear Window is my favorite.
It's very good.
I prefer it 9 times out of 10 to Vertigo. And I recently watched Vertigo, and Vertigo is a movie that's almost in the same vein. I could not tell you why it's a top movie. I can see that it isn't enjoyable, but I don't know why this is the best movie. So, going back to Citizen Kane, I want to know, why do y'all think this movie personally should be considered the best movie of all time? That's what I want to know from y'all.
It seems like it laid the groundwork for a lot of future things to model after it. And I also read somewhere that a lot of directors, like, when they watched that movie, that's what launched them into, I want to be a director.
Right. So, backstory, if I may.
Yeah,
sorry.
Please.
The long and short of it, Orson Welles, War of the Worlds radio broadcast, freaked out everyone. Do you know
War of the Worlds?
Yeah, War of the Worlds was originally a radio broadcast that, people actually thought was really happening. People tuned into it and thought the aliens were actually invading. So Orson Welles, immediately catapulted into fame just because of that radio broadcast. And then he had a theater troupe, and they had a couple plays, productions, I think, in New York. And so, but he had never had a background in movies, and apparently worked out a great deal with Hollywood to basically come and direct his own first movie. And apparently, I don't know how he did it, got to have final say in terms of editing, got it well funded. I think he self-produced and apparently just had full free reign and said, I don't know how y'all do movies here in Hollywood, but I'm a noob, I'm gonna do this my own way. Right. And so you have just things that people have never thought of before.
The angles were so strange.
Yeah. Like, No, in all seriousness, he took one of the main guys on his team was I was reading through it too, is the photographer that he'd had some prior experience and was very well known for shooting things very differently and lighting and just, he was acclaimed, but he also basically went to him and said, I'm forgetting his name right now, but said, go for it. Go crazy. I don't know if you read.
I didn't read that part.
No, but I'm sorry. I'm going way too into this. I totally told.
I love how excited you're getting into this.
I love looking into the history of some of this stuff. Why it is. I can tell you why critics think this is the best movie.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I mean, but
I did mean to.
Think about that opening montage where the newscast is kind of confirming, basically giving you the whole picture of his story and here's what's going on. Who's this guy that really died? And how many times have we seen a movie do that at the beginning to varying levels of success? Right?
Yeah.
Or kind of the quote unquote twist ending.
Yes.
Sixth Sense.
Right.
Yeah, I think you see the groundwork that this movie lays be used in other movies.
Scorsese, this influenced him heavily. He was one of the ones that I saw and there were all these French directors, which I don't know nothing about French film, but they were all impacted heavily and they started innovating and they, it's like America influenced the French film industry and then they in turn influenced more people in the, I guess 50s and 60s and their filmmaking. But Scorsese was one of the ones that he was just like, man, I would not be here if it wasn't for him. And every Hollywood director, I was looking through, there's just a slew of interviews where people are talking about Orson Welles as a huge inspiration. I don't know. And I just found all these things where he's just very innovative. A lot of shots that Sino is telling you about with him playing outside with his sleigh in the snow, was one of the first times they had done a shot where, moving the camera out, from inside to outside. Apparently it was near impossible to do without messing with the lighting, and somehow it's just a lot of things in this movie we take for granted.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's hard for me to appreciate that stuff because, I didn't watch a lot of movies prior to 1941 to compare it to. You know what I mean?
Gone with the Wind, I think, maybe is the only other one that I've seen before then.
Is that before
I
1941?
think wasn't it 1929 or 31 or something like that?
I don't know. And maybe, when was Casablanca?
Real quick.
Yeah,
all right, we'll take a little IMDb break here. But, yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think it's a good, fine movie. But, again, I'm not going to be anywhere near the critics. You're whispering what?
It was 1939, Gone with the Wind.
39.
But, okay, so Sean. Sorry, Cameron.
No, I'm going up. I know I'm going off in La
Casablanca
La
was
Land.
1942.
Really? So 1 year later?
Oh.
So Sean, but you, Sean Hill, watching that movie, why would you rank it as the top movie? If you had to, say, maybe it's not your first choice, but if you had to rank it as the best movie of all time, why would you rank it that?
I think I would go back to Cameron's argument, just that movies as we know them would not exist probably without that.
So it's kind of like
it's like the influence.
point.
Yeah, that's a good phrase to describe it.
Yeah.
The tipping point of modern film. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm no film expert.
Right. But that's why it's. I think the opinion of a non-expert is more important because most people aren't experts.
Yeah, I'll watch movies and I'll be like, I can understand why people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Lobster came out this year, and I can understand why people really like that. I didn't love it.
Yeah. Now that's the one with
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell goes to a loony bin, right? Essentially, and you don't. It's a sci-fi, isn't it?
Well, it's not a loony bin. It's in that setting. It's if you're not married by a certain point, they send you to this home, and you have 3 months to get married, and if you don't, they turn you into an animal of your choosing.
And
I go? I'm running out of
weird.
time.
It's weird.
And he wants to be
a
lobster, or is that why?
I didn't love it,
Okay.
but I can see why people really liked it.
Right.
And that's kind of, I liked this better than I thought I would, but I didn't love it, but I can see why people are
Yeah.
oh, cool.
It makes me want to go back and start watching movies prior to this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't really do any research at all. So I love hearing what y'all did because it's the opposite of what I did. I didn't read anything before and I haven't read anything after, mainly because I'd finished it about 30 minutes before I got here.
You joined the club.
Yeah.
You do. So I think, and this makes sense because this is me and I'm very much an emotionally, like I really connect emotionally with things.
Right.
It was just the whole idea of love and how it can almost like, if you don't understand it, it can ruin everything. And like the whole reason that his mother gave him away essentially was the pursuit of this American dream, right? Like money, education breeds power and success. And so he got all of it. But what he was missing was the one thing that she gave up to give him all of that, which was love. And so because he was missing that, everything went sour, you know, and like just that simple. But then at the same time, and just like I love the idea of Rosebud and the snow globe being the sled he had, and it was snowing outside when he was taken away. You know, I didn't make that connection of the snow globe until actually like 10 minutes ago. But just so the emotions I felt when I didn't expect to, I think that's like there was really nothing that traumatic or that
not really
dramatic that happened. I mean, considering, you know what I mean? It was just like really good dialogue too. Like I wrote down
very
so
fast
many
dialogue.
quotes.
Did y'all notice that? A lot of fast dialogue, a lot of people talking over. It was interesting. They did. I had to rewind a couple of scenes because they were talking so fast, and there were people talking at the. I thought it was weird. You were having like listening in on a full group discussion. I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of hard.
It was a weird.
Yeah, but that's why it would be my top movie. The emotional stuff.
Right.
I mean, I totally get what y'all are saying. I just didn't do any research to find that stuff
No, I get that.
I didn't do as much as Cam.
Yeah.
Cam loves the research. I can always
really
count on
do.
him. I show
That's
up
good.
knowing nothing, and I'm like, Cam, what'd you find out?
I spent a lot of time on Wikipedia, and it's probably spent about half the actual. And it's a long movie. Probably spent a full hour just watching videos on interviews and why people think this. You know, I watched Robert Ebert, why he thinks it's because I was so curious. Why is this the best movie of all time? Because it's just so like it's good. If you were to make this a modern day movie, I'm sure it would get like over a 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sure, but like best movie of all time.
Right, but you have to look at it in context,
Right,
which is
and it's historical context. Now, but it's a heavy emotional movie. I wasn't expecting that.
Spent.
Yeah, so we need. So next week, hopefully, we'll not watch a movie that deals with reality and dream chasing or getting.
No, I'm still pulling for Moana. That's what I want to watch.
Moana, haven't seen it yet. I do want to see it.
Oh, wonderful!
The Rock's in it. I'm in for anything The Rock's in.
Yeah,
Great American hero.
The Rock Johnson.
So,
do you think any movie will become number one? Like, will any movie pass Citizen Kane?
Well, I think that, and that's another thing, is there's this back and forth between Vertigo and Citizen Kane. You know, if I had to choose today, I would choose Vertigo over Citizen Kane, just because it's newer and in color. It actually uses color very interestingly. If you watch the movie, you'll notice that colors mean different things in different scenes. It's very subtle, but you also have Alfred Hitchcock having had multiple movies by this point. So I think people choose this as the greatest movie of all time because it's just his first try. It's his first movie, and he just blew everyone out of the water. And so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where it is maybe in 20 years, 30 years from now. Someone better have one heck of an innovative movie.
The thing is like, think about all these movies that have come, even some that are lower on that list.
Yeah.
You got Goodfellas on there. You've got The Godfather. You've got even like the more recent ones, like Star Wars is not the more recent, but like
is Forrest Gump on there?
Forrest Gump's on there.
Out, yeah.
I think The Dark Knight might be on there.
Good.
And which one of my favorites. But how good would a movie have to be to be able to surpass this? You know?
Yeah, I don't know if it can or if it's mainly because I bet everyone's too afraid to say it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're essentially saying this movie's better than all these other ones that could not surpass it.
Yeah.
I don't know that it'll ever change.
I'm still pulling for Hot Rod to move on up that list.
There's some
Fun
buzz.
fact, not even on AFI's 100.
Oh,
So I think let's go around the table and give our rating. Kind of keeping in mind, let's think. You're about to be a family. Well, you're about to start your own little family here. You're still on the single side of things. You're engaged.
technically,
Right?
I mean, technically single. You are engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all technically a lot of things. You're technically single, and I'm technically. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where that was going. I'm sorry.
No, it's true.
Okay.
So yeah, we're looking at it from that perspective, right? For our rating.
Right. So, as a single dude, with 2 weeks away,
Sure.
where do you put this movie? Your experience? You watched it just at home? Did you watch it with your fiance? Did you leave her out?
Well, I just found out about it yesterday afternoon.
Many
So
apologies.
I had plans last night, so I watched it this morning.
Right.
And I had to start and stop on various occasions.
Mhm.
And so just on my laptop, I watched it by myself with
Mhm.
my headphones. And yeah,
Something I couldn't do. As soon as I mentioned this to Amy, I had to There's no way I could do that like you did.
Right. I think I would have loved for Emily to come watch it with me. She would have been up for it as well. But I think rating wise, I would give it. I don't know, on what scale are we talking?
1 to
here?
10.
1 to 10.
1 to 10. I would give it I'd give it an 8. A
Solid
solid 8.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
you would recommend it. You would.
Yeah.
Would you pull Emily? Have her sit down and watch it with you again,
Yeah,
or
would you wanna watch it
Would you
again?
buy it?
I would not buy it. Although, you know what? I might buy it because it's not like you can just find it anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
And I don't see it jumping on Netflix anytime
Right,
soon.
and it's
Right.
probably not going to be in the Walmart bin. It
Yeah.
might be.
It might be.
I'll still look for it.
I think it'd be a while before I watched it again.
Right.
The rewatchability doesn't have a ton.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I would pull it and say, "Hey, I think this will be. I think she would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
She likes old movies, and so I would say, hey, I think this is an influential movie, the #1 movie of all time.
Yeah.
Let's give it another watch. I enjoyed it, and I think I would enjoy it again and pull new stuff from it again, especially if I were able to watch it in one sitting. And so, yeah, I'd give it a solid 8.
Okay, that's very
Nice.
respectable
But I understand
score.
why people give it a 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I like that.
Lauren, what do you think?
So I watched it in 2 parts, like I said earlier. So I started watching it with my roommate Lauren.
Hey, Ellie.
Ellie's joining us. I started watching it with my roommate Lauren, and she loves movies. But she was, I could tell, not really that into it, and I wasn't at first either. I was just like, because again, I have to get emotionally invested, and I wasn't in the beginning. I was just like, okay, well, all right. And then I finished it alone, which I thought kind of helped in a way.
I'm
Not that
alone. He's alone.
There you go. The parallels.
Well, I think I was focused more. I don't know why. And not that Lauren distracted me. I think just my day distracted me yesterday. And I couldn't really focus on the little things that made the movie so cool to me today. But I actually would
think
give
the
it
movie's cool.
I do. I think it was cool. And I agree with you. The rewatchability is not very good,
Yeah.
but I would watch it with someone just to talk about it with them after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
That's how I felt about coming here. I was like, oh, good. 2 people that have seen
It's
it.
a
We can
good
talk about
conversation
it.
starter. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just want to, it's like a book club. I want to dive in, but,
With
I
the right
actually-
people.
Right. With the right people. I give it an 8 as well. That was my rating as well.
No kidding.
Solid.
Well, looking at it from being really kind of just a married dude, Amy and I sat down. We watched it last night. I also watched it in 2 parts. I just couldn't. I had a hard time finishing the first half. It was late. I fell asleep, and there wasn't really anything engaging about it midway through. So we were both kind of tired. We just went to bed, but we came back. We watched it last night, and I think for the most part, we really did like it. And there's this. going to be one of Amy and my, just one of our movies from now on? Definitely not. It's not going to be our They Came Together or one of my favorite movies.
It's the second time I've heard you mention that.
Right. It's a good movie. If you haven't not seen They Came Together, watch it.
It's the one on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. It's like a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's so great.
It's funny.
But it's not going to be like our Princess. I know a lot of couples, Princess Bride is their power movie, or it's just nothing to us. Sure, is it a respectable movie? Yeah. Is it great to look at it in historical context? Yeah. Would I buy it? No. Would I watch it again within the next 5 years? Maybe.
Yeah.
I give it a solid 6.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So,
cool.
but I understand. I understand how people like it.
Yeah,
Can I make a couple observations about the movie? Also,
please.
Sure.
I noticed I don't know if you guys noticed it, a couple times the video and the audio didn't match up.
Oh,
I think
didn't
you were
notice
watching
that.
a bad version.
No. I'm watching Amazon.
Oh, me too.
Amazon
Maybe
runs the world.
I wasn't paying attention as well as you. Maybe.
Well, like he would yell. So here's the scene where found out that, like, basically Emily confronts him about the affair he's having with Susan,
Right.
in Susan's home with the political running mate there.
Yeah, I was refilling my plate during this scene.
So when he's like chasing after the Betts guy, the guy running
Down the
against him,
stairs?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's yelling and it's not matching up with his mouth, which I found that interesting. And then here's another observation I would make: being an attractive person was not as big of a deal back then in them as it is now. Like, think about, he is not like a
looker.
look, I wouldn't guess. Like, I should
Yeah.
say that. I wouldn't
You're right.
guess.
Your assumption is correct.
He's not a looker. And
No.
I mean, like, when
He's got circle face.
he must have, yeah, and the mustache. And he must have some incredible game. But maybe because we saw him do puppets
Right.
with, and then what
was
was the
cute.
other thing he did right before that?
Right before, he was making her laugh.
Yeah,
And I can't
but
remember
not really
how.
making her laugh. Like it
No.
was like
Completely missed
lame.
this scene.
It's like lame jokes.
Yeah, he was.
What was he doing? I don't remember.
She had that toothache, and he was trying to make
Yeah.
her forget it. I don't remember. He was just like,
Like terrible game,
I know.
but it worked. That's just funny to me how like
Oh.
nowadays you have to, like, he wouldn't be cast probably in that role.
You're right. He
It's like,
probably
let's put
wouldn't be.
Channing Tatum in there instead.
Yes. Channing Tatum.
And
Yeah,
then
you
women
could do it.
pretend not to be interested. Like, no,
Yeah.
no.
I don't need Channing. I'm fine. Amy said something very funny. You mentioned toothache. Amy brings it up in the middle of the movie right before I go get, like, we're eating dinner and watching it. It's just like, who gets toothaches anymore? That
Yeah.
was such a 40s, 50s, 60s thing. Like, no one gets toothaches anymore. Like that thing where you wrap your head in the cloth and,
Yeah.
like, put one of those, like, little scooshy things you put
Yeah,
eyes.
I
don't know.
imagine like a Norman Rockwell painting of
Right.
like sitting at the doctor with a toothache.
Yeah.
Too many sweets.
And he made it go away with his little shadow hand puppets.
He did.
Yeah.
What a charmer.
Oh, that kind of. I saw that puppet. I was just actually thinking he had like hand puppets. Like,
Yeah.
where does this scene fall?
No,
in? I
it's
missed that.
so weird. What is that? It's a dog.
It looks like a giraffe.
Blah.
Scene from the movie.
So
Yeah.
I think it's good. I'm glad we
Sure.
did this movie. I think I'm glad I can check it off the list.
Exactly.
Me too.
I've seen the best movie of all time. Have you? I mean,
Indeed.
that's
I was
rhetorical.
like, I have.
Yeah, I'm dumb now. Shall we move on to dumb things?
I think so.
Oh, we didn't even spoil. Hey, we didn't even spoil the ending.
I did a little bit, but if you haven't seen it, you might not
It was
get
his
where
sleigh.
it did.
It was his sled, yeah.
Cameron.
It's true, it was.
John.
It's, again, a 75-year-old movie.
I know. That's true.
76, actually.
I love spoiling things. Anyway,
Wait, okay. I got to just say, that's like my number one pet peeves when people spoil things that I have not seen.
Cameron.
what have I spoiled?
Nothing. I'm just saying. Now you
I mean,
know.
like, Citizen Kane's a 75-year-old movie.
Right. So you're right there with me. That's what I did about Rogue One when we talked about it, La La Land. I think you have to spoil the ending of La La Land to really
Just
get
give
into the
a,
heaviness.
you give a spoiler alert.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But the worst, here's the worst, is when, let's say, somebody you work with goes to see a movie and you're dying to see it and you just haven't had a chance yet.
Oh, right.
Schedules hadn't worked out. And so they come in and they're like, "Oh my gosh, have you seen such and such movie?" You're like, "No, actually, I don't want you to spoil it. Can we not? Don't tell me anything." You're like, "No, this is not a spoiler. Let me just say this one thing. It's not a spoiler." And then you're like, "No, really, it's okay." And they're like, "No, look, I promise it's not a spoiler." And then they say it, and like on some level, it's a spoiler.
Yeah, they're like,
and I'm like,
and the toys get back home at the end.
"Yeah, he was dead the whole time."
But I didn't
You're
spoil
like-
anything. You don't know who he is.
Or they're like, "Just wait till the ending." I'm like, that in itself is a spoiler because now you told me there's a twist
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I'm going to be looking out for.
I'm of the mindset that talking about movies is spoiling them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this whole podcast is for the month
You're right.
of February.
We
Fair
spoil
fair
things.
warning.
See
this
the
is
movies.
a spoiler
then,
month.
Then come back and listen.
Yes. Good thing we're saying this now.
Right.
All right, let's jump into dumb things real quick.
Cool.
I really want to get to it.
Dumb things.
Sean, we usually like to let the guest tell us their dumb thing for the week first.
Sure.
Do you care to share? Or?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there is a GIF. It's like a video
says
of a
GIF.
3D Winnie the Pooh dancing.
Oh, look at him.
And the funny thing is, like, it works with literally every song.
So-
Right? So after this, you could go and you could
Here's-
just, like, I've seen it to Smash Mouth All Star. I've seen it to, like, just random hip hop songs.
What
I've seen it
about-
to country songs. And, like, it genuinely works with any song.
See, he's bottom heavy in this. He knows how to dance.
Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You." Do you think it would work with that?
Do you want to sing it while we watch him dance to it?
Sure, go for it.
I'll let y'all know if it's working.
And
It works.
It kind of does.
Why did we do an audio format for this?
We can put it on the recap.
We're going to put it, so it's a great opportunity to check out the episode recap. Summary. May or may not be stealing that. Anyway, he's really dancing there.
This song
Winnie
is
the Pooh GIF.
the Mannequin Challenge song. It's just the one that first one.
You can put it up.
This is just the creepiest little animated Winnie the Pooh.
That's all it is.
I
It's
like
a 3D rendered Winnie the Pooh.
That's good.
I found that on the internet.
Thank you, Internet.
Thanks, Internet.
Internet comes up with some really great stuff sometimes.
I
Internet
know.
is great.
It's perfect for our dumb things.
Yeah.
Lauren, what do you think?
I've got a list going of dumb things, and I'm gonna go with my number 4 right now. Not in order of greatness, just in order of they happened to me.
Yeah.
So number 4, I was driving down the road, 75, and it was late at night, and I was really tired, and I looked up at the billboard, and it said, to what I thought it said, Kid Rock in a date.
Oh, jeez.
But the picture, I was like, that doesn't look like Kid Rock at all. And I stared at it, and was driving, so I was looking at the road too. I was like, Kid Rock? He's on tour? What's he doing on tour? I was like, Kid Rock? That looks like a black guy. That's not. And then I finally looked and it said Chris Rock. And I had been reading it wrong for like 17 seconds. Like, that's way too long to read a one-syllable word wrong.
Especially when
Right.
you're not watching the road.
I know.
Right.
I was like, Kid Rock, and I still drive by it and think Kid Rock, and I'm like, I have to do the stroke
Right.
test, because I'm like, what's happening to me?
Man, that's crazy. That's my terrible Chris Rock impression. Not Kid Rock.
Wow.
Swinging, swinging, all summer long. I can't stand Kid Rock.
He is the worst. I thought that was just going to be your dumb thing, that he was
No.
on a billboard and that he was still around.
No, it was me
Guys-
looking at a picture of Chris Rock and thinking, that's not Kid Rock. That was my dumb
My
thing.
favorite TV show is Silicon Valley, and they actually have Kid Rock perform in an episode. I can't tell if it's ironic or not, and so it concerns me that my favorite show would actually seriously book Kid Rock to do a song. Anyway, yeah, Kid Rock's a dumb thing for sure, but
Yeah.
you reading it wrong is also dumb.
It's pretty dumb.
Guys, I have the best one.
Oh.
Okay, so today I work.
Taken.
Yeah,
No, rude.
yeah, y'all are just poop.
Is it Catch Me Outside?
I don't,
that?
what is that? I don't know what that is yet.
It's a clip from the
Dr.
Dr.
Phil
Phil show. This crazy teen, and then she became famous. which
check
she
that
needed
out.
for her ego.
Yeah, it's
I'm
probably
sure.
really helping her. She was back on Dr. Phil this week.
I saw.
She said he was nothing before her, is what she said.
Wow.
God.
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that?
Well, now I'm
And
going to
he
watch.
goes, where did
Dr.
you
Phil.
learn to talk like this? And she goes, the streets.
Okay, that makes sense.
How about that?
Now I'm actually going to watch Dr. Phil, so it might actually work.
There you go.
I'll just watch a YouTube video. I'll throw it on the
Do that.
website.
There you go.
Spitting on my mic. That's not my dumb thing. My dumb thing is I work today. I go and do health fairs every once in a while. And so while I was at this health fair, they had it was at a school, and they had a Black History Month presentation. And they were letting all these kids do, their little presentations in front of a very small audience while people are like going to tables and booths to, get some swag and, screenings and whatnot. This one little girl comes up on stage, and her person for the month was Barack Obama. And so each person, each child had a person in Black, African American Black History Month that they chose. And so, like, one was Nina Simone or Aretha Franklin. Most of them were singers. And then you have Barack Obama. So they what they do is just show pictures of Barack Obama just on the slideshow as they sing a song. And so I just kind of get caught up in my, I'm screening and I'm really into my job, and just all of a sudden this girl catches my attention. I'm seeing pictures of Barack Obama on this projected on this wall in the background of this gym, and he's like on a jet ski, and like half of them seem to be from his like vacation now that he just left office. And so it's like most of these, it's mostly shirtless Obama. So of course I'm like, what is going on here? And like then he's back in his suit, and he's like, signing, executive orders on his desk, and all these, presidently photos of himself. But the dumbest thing, and it's really the cutest thing, is the girl was singing All of Me during the song. So I just hear this, all of me loves all of you. And she's singing this, and it's just in the background. It was the perfect mix of things.
I'm just imagining Obama on a jet ski with that song playing
John
in the
Legend
background.
playing.
Yes.
The best presentation.
That's a beautiful image.
Yeah, so it's not
Thank
a
you,
dumb
Obama.
thing.
It's a cute thing.
It was, she really liked Obama, so
Aww.
good for her.
Oh, that's adorable.
Especially jet skiing Obama.
Yes,
That's her favorite version.
She really liked Vacation Obama. I think I would be down to hang out with Vacation Obama.
I bet
Think
it's
about
fun.
if you've been president for 8 years, how awesome your vacation will be when you're done.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
It'd be like, I don't have a care in the world.
You're like, finally, someone else's problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
This
just got to
country.
go to a library that's going to be opened in my name, and that's all I have to do from here on
Like,
out.
cut the ribbon.
Yeah, I have to cut a ribbon, and then I can just do whatever.
Yeah.
How long do you think you would vacation for?
A month.
A year.
Probably like a whole month, right?
Depends
Yeah.
on how
I
many
would.
terms you served.
2
Yeah.
terms.
2 terms?
2 months.
8 years.
2 years.
I would take a year. I would take a full year.
Right, to not
No.
do anything, but like just strictly vacation.
Vacation.
No, full year.
But you can't. They have daughters in
They
school.
have kids.
I mean, maybe you could. I don't know how much a president makes. What, like 400,000 or whatever?
I think
It's
that's
probably
what it
not
is.
enough to have someone come and tutor your daughter on vacation.
Well, I would never have wanted to leave school if I was a 15-year-old, 16-year-old. I would be like, my friends, catch me outside. How about that? To my parents. I am being met with crickets in this
I was
room.
going to say, can you put that sound effect on?
Rude. Y'all would suck at improv.
Oh, sorry. Yes, and
Yes, and I want to do improv now that you've mentioned it. I'm
Yeah.
like
Well,
intrigued.
good.
what?
Whenever I hear improv, I
Because
always
of what
think
she
of,
just said today, you really painted an awful picture of it today.
Well, like, but whenever I think of improv, I think of that clip from The Office where Michael
Right.
Scott's doing improv. And he's
Got a
like,
gun.
my turn.
I have a gun.
My turn. Oh.
No, y'all,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's so
and then he's
fun.
like, no guns this time, Michael. And okay. And then he whispers up in the guy's ear, and the guy goes, he said he has a gun.
No, you guys would love it. It's so fun.
It's a great clip.
It's so fun.
Okay, well, we unfortunately do not have Amy's Crime Corner this week, but we have a new segment we're going to try
Just really for this month.
just for this month.
Maybe this week.
Hey, what's your favorite movie?
Hey,
Wait, what are your top 3 movies?
Top 3 movies. Like if it was your list, your
Yeah.
AFI list.
Do you want to jingle it up for us?
No.
Okay.
Jingle jangle, favorite movie, go, Sean.
Thank you.
wow, that was pretty good.
I'm still
You are
dealing
a
with the
jingle
rejection from you.
Sorry.
This is
couldn't
why I'm going to
enjoy that.
endorse you on LinkedIn for your jingles.
Jingle jangle master.
Okay, so here's my question: if I want to like say a trilogy, do I have to list? Can I list the whole trilogy as one?
That
movie?
can be one.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Great. I'm in. Okay, so mine are probably pretty easy. The Star Wars trilogy, I'm in.
Okay.
That's number 1.
Number 1.
I was a big fan as a kid.
Yeah.
And there's just something about the nostalgia and just I love it so much.
What's your top one in that?
Probably The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire. Good.
But
You're a
I
good
also
man.
Return of the Jedi is pretty close up to the top.
I think it's that best versus favorite scenario where
Yes.
sometimes my favorite I think is Return of the Jedi, but I understand that Empire's also should be the best.
Yes.
So I don't know.
And I think I read like a study once. They did a study on every movie and they said the original Star Wars is like the best arc of a story. Like the ideal arc of a story. Anyway,
Huh.
I would also go the Dark Knight trilogy.
Okay.
I think those
Oh.
stand up even as just movies. Like the Dark Knight in particular
Right.
just stands out as a great movie. Ellie's a fan.
Ellie is.
She's like, why so serious?
I hope that's her first sentence.
Yeah.
So scared.
And then the third, I don't know. I think I see so many movies that it's hard for me to pick. It's like, what do I really like lately?
right.
I usually try to pick like a favorite one I've seen out of a calendar year. So, my favorite one from this past year was Hell or High Water.
Really?
Yes, loved that movie.
We were talking about this being a potential movie. We're looking for Oscar-nominated movies, and that's one of the few that are actually out right now.
Here's why I love that movie.
Yeah,
is
don't spoil
because it's a modern Western. And it's a really simple plot, right? There's these 2 brothers that are bank robbers, and Jeff Bridges is the ranger that's trying to catch them.
Right.
And that's all it is. And then they set that up as the plot, and they kind of just let the actors do their stuff, which it's not complex, it's not convoluted, it's just a really simple, great movie. And Jeff
Right.
Bridges is like awesome, Jeff Bridges. And Chris Pine, I think, is winning the war of the Chris's as far as when it comes to acting. Chris Pratt probably is winning the war of the Chris's when it comes to like star power.
Likeability.
Sure. Star-Lord power.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies though. Did you guys ever see Whiplash?
I did.
We talked about that.
That's
in
Damien
last
Chazelle's.
episode.
That's La La Land guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that movie,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would actually rank that one pretty high for me.
Interesting. Now we talked about it last week. For me, I mentioned it's one of those movies that it's hard for me to watch again and again. It's a one timer really for me.
Oh, see, and it's not for me. I
Really?
would say I could watch it right now. Yeah,
Interesting.
It's a heavy movie. It really is.
it is a heavy movie.
I like that list. That's a pretty solid list.
Jurassic Park probably pretty high up there too.
Yeah,
Spielberg.
Jurassic Park 3, right?
Yes,
Sure,
Where
okay.
the raptor's sitting on the plane and goes, "Hello."
That's a fine and solid
I'm
list.
impressed with that list,
It
and it
feels
makes
nerdy.
me
The
want
list
to not
feels
go
nerdy,
next. No, because you're going to hear mine last, and you're
Oh.
you're all going to judge me. You all are going to judge me.
That's fine. I think y'all know what one of mine is, and I think I wanted to dissect it. I think I'll start with 3 going down to 1 to build up a little suspense.
Now I'm curious which one we think we know.
Now-
Ghost Dad.
I think I know.
Ghost Dad?
Yeah.
Oh. No.
No.
But I watched a movie last week called Ghost World. It was interesting. Grown Ups 2? No. I think for me, which there's an actual podcast out there called The Worst Idea in the World where they watch Grown Ups 2 every week for a year. Check it out.
No way.
That's real. It's a real thing. Check that podcast out. It's
Wow.
2 Australian dudes watching it. Actually, very emotional podcast. I know. Number 3 for me is probably going to be Inception. It's a toss-up. Now, I've gone back and forth between Inception and No Country for Old Men.
Ooh, also good.
See, I look at that as like a good, solid Western. It's just beautiful. I love the West Texas scenery. It's a very quiet movie, but I think it's just one of these ones I can just get really immersed in. And then, I do love Hot Rod. Hot Rod is one of my favorite movies of all time, but
that favorite and best, like you said.
Favorite and
different.
best. Sure. Now, I think Hot Rod would probably be in my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for my number 2 slot would be the new Mad Max Fury Road.
Really?
Never
Yes.
saw it.
That's a good one.
It's a wonderful one.
One
It's
big long car chase.
I'm not big into, Fast and Furious and car movies, but I am into post-apocalyptic sci-fis. So right up my alley, and it just goes, and it just doesn't stop.
The opposite of Citizen Kane.
Right, the exact. When you're ADD, you love movies like that. And then, of course, number 1 is Star Wars.
Ugh.
And I
really didn't think you were going to say that. I'm not even being
Really?
joking. I thought you were going to say La La Land after
Now, La La Land, I have to sit on.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 weeks. Have I gone back to the theater and see it again? Yeah, going to the theater is hard when you have a family, but I love this. I love La La Land. I'm going to let it grow on me. I'm going to give it a little more time because La La Land really. I'm singing. I'll let y'all into a little bit of the conversation. I'll make it real quick. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is my favorite. The trilogy, minus episodes 1 and 2, it's my favorite movie of all time. Every movie in there. Because I think I could say that, right? So
Sure.
But the trilogy minus 1 and 2?
Episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You mean like...
Star
Phantom
Wars...
Menace and
So the 6 of them minus 1 and 2? Or 7?
7.
Oh, okay.
8. Man. 8.
Ocho.
8.
Just
Yeah.
the whole saga.
The whole
the
saga of Star
ochology.
Wars, with Empire being probably Empire and Return of the Jedi being my favorites of all time.
Sure.
But La La Land, I am thinking about way more than I'm thinking about Rogue One or even Force Awakens, and it's just been in my car. It's every time I get in the car, I listen to the soundtrack. I don't know why. I hate musicals.
You hate musicals?
I hate
And
musicals.
you love La La Land.
I love La La Land, and I don't know why I caught the bug. And so I was in my car, and I told you this a little bit earlier, but I have this thing where I'm like, I get obsessed with things. So with Star Wars, I go and buy comic books, I buy action figures, Lego sets, and things like that. And I was just thinking, why doesn't La La Land have Lego sets and comic books? Like, it's just like, this could be a thing, right? And just kind of in my car thinking about this, like trying to convince myself that there should be like La La Land action figures,
want a
little
La La
Sebastian
Land
action
coloring
figures.
book.
Yeah, right.
And a word find.
Anyway, we'll see. Ask me again in a year, and probably will change.
Okay.
It's an ever moving dynamic.
It is.
list.
That's what movies. I don't want to share my list. I feel like it's.
I bet it's going to be dumb.
Does it have romantic comedies
can
on
put-
it? Because I'm in on those too.
It does.
I love those
because
movies.
the movie I gravitate towards is the one that takes me out of my life and puts me into one where things all work out and things are beautiful and happy. That is my ideal movie. So I'm not the one that's going to sit down and watch like I didn't see Jurassic Park till I was 25 years old because I was
no.
so
What a
scared.
miss.
First of all, I was so scared of dinosaurs. It's just a thing I have. And also
Legitimate fear.
it is in my brain. I've had someone
Oh,
just
they're
mentions
extinct.
Jurassic Park to me and I will have a nightmare about dinosaurs the next night.
Jurassic Park.
You know they're extinct, right?
I do. My brain doesn't know that. My instinct is very real to run away from the giant reptile. So my ideal movie is very like everything works out. But then I watch movies like Citizen Kane where they make you think and you feel, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good too. Because a lot of times I watch movies to escape thinking. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Sure.
So I would say most of my favorite movies involve like really great dialogue. So
Oh, hi, Ellie.
I watch number 3 would probably be When Harry Met Sally. I just love that
Ooh.
movie.
I'll have what she's having.
Exactly. No, I love the way they talk to each other in that movie. And I love that movie. I love Billy Crystal. And
Billy Crystal, a good-looking guy.
no.
No.
But really charming.
But
Yes.
I love that movie too because
It is
I'm
a
like,
great movie.
dude, you and me, we're not lookers, but like, go for it. Just go for it.
Is this you asking for a compliment again? You look great, Cam.
Thanks, y'all. Oh wait, I said y'all. Sean, feel free to.
Jump
Hey.
in.
Yeah, I like your maroon shirt.
Thank you.
There you go.
Gig 'em.
There we go. Okay, so number 2 Now, this is me answering, trying to sound a little bit cool, but I really do like this movie.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But it's not something I would like go home and watch on my own if I wanted to comfort. Like, I really like the movie The Prestige with...
Solid. Only gets better with time.
It really, it's such a good movie.
So we have a couple Christopher Nolan.
We each have a Christopher Nolan on our.
Cool. Not sure who that is.
It's the director.
Second favorite movie of all time.
It's the director.
I don't know things like that.
I don't know things like directors.
I don't.
That's a really good movie.
It is good. I really like that one. And number one movie of all time, like the one that I'm gonna go home and put on and like just get lost in it, it's kind of, I want to say, like my gut reaction immediately, that's what I have to go with, is the Keira Knightley version of Pride and Prejudice. Just like, there's something about the music.
Oh, I'm sorry. I fell asleep as you were saying the name of the movie.
No, it takes me to England, which is where my heart, like, I want to be in like the UK and the British Isles area. Like, that's where my soul wants to be.
Do you?
I do.
Have you been to London?
Like 6 times.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I didn't say London. I said the UK British Isles area, which includes Ireland. And the British
but let's think. It's mostly the west part of that.
Right,
that
right. Or the north part. Scotland. Oh, man, Scotland. See, y'all, you know what else I really like? Like number, like maybe 6 on this list.
Oh, can I? Can I guess? Does it
Can I
have
guess
Ewan
too?
McGregor in it?
Nope, you're not going to
Is
guess.
it P.S.
at
I
all.
Love You?
Nope.
Is it Leap Year?
Nope. Totally off. Totally. I'll show you how I got there. It's the movie 300.
Wow, I was not thinking that.
I thought
It would have been my 5th guess.
I really love that movie, and I got there because Gerard Butler's Scottish, and I thought, yeah, that's where that train thought
Would have
went.
never gotten that.
I love 300. When I was training for my half marathon, I would put on 300 and just run on the treadmill. It was very motivating.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. So, there's actually research studies out there that if you expose yourself to maybe someone that is physically fit, expose yourself.
No comment.
Thank you.
Sorry, go on. Expose yourself to physically fit people. It still sounds creepy.
That's true.
How you're going to say it.
Yeah. So when you expose yourself to pictures of physically fit people or watch videos of people running prior, like let's say you're coming home from work and you're not motivated to work out, you should like watch a YouTube video real quick of someone running, and it's going to make you want to go run like 10
I can
times
relate to that. Mm-hmm. Like think about when you see like Rocky or Creed or a movie like that where you're like, God, I'm going to go work out now.
Right.
I think that movie appeals to me so much because of the sacrifice. It's like, even though it's done in such a like Hollywood way and like half naked, whatever they are, Spartans running around. But
I was like, Rocky, Creed.
I was thinking 300. I'm always thinking of 300.
Right.
And it's not obviously historically accurate in every way, but there's something about sacrifice.
Accurate. No, anatomy.
Get out of here,
anyway.
biology major. You don't know. What
I don't know
word is.
things.
But I think maybe that's why I like it. I don't know. And I like anything mythical, ancient. I used to watch like the old Jason.
You would have
and
loved
the
to be a
Argonauts.
unicorn with your mascot.
I probably would have. Anything unique, I'm like.
Did you see Gods of Egypt with Gerard Butler?
I want to.
Oh my gosh.
Was it good?
No.
I can't name a good Gerard Butler movie.
I just named.
Sorry, y'all.
P.S. I Love You.
P.S. I Love You. I said 300.
Fan
There's
of the
2
Opera?
right there. Mims Island. I never saw that.
Okay.
I think he's a dad in that one.
Fan of the Opera.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's hit and miss.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'll be honest, never seen any of these movies. I watched half of 300.
It's pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Maybe I just need more. I need to expose myself to Gerard Butler.
Stop.
I think that'll get you arrested.
Guys, I think we did it. I think we got some good, solid movies on the table. They're respectable, but 300 isn't your top 3, right? We need to clear that, right?
It's pretty close. I could watch it a lot.
Okay. All right.
So you did not answer that question.
I love that you said Pride and Prejudice and really did not talk about it at all.
I did a little bit.
Sure.
I love the music.
For your
I love it
favorite
all.
movie, you didn't hardly talk about it.
Well, because it kind of, I feel like it's I don't know. I feel like if y'all know me, you know Pride and Prejudice, so I don't need to explain it much, It's part of
I've
me.
never seen it.
No,
Oh my
I hate
gosh.
Jane Austen.
Oh my gosh, that is rude.
It's so boring.
It's not boring. You have to. You're not a girl, so you don't quite understand. Like
No.
the mind games. Her books really capture the way a female thinks, in my opinion. Like
Right.
the confusion and the like. But I don't really know what I want.
Would you say it does that as well as the Britney Spears movie Crossroads does? Also captures
It's a good argument you're making.
the juxtaposition of a woman's mind.
Britney Spears, the Jane Austen of our time.
I'm not a girl, not yet a woman.
That's a great song.
from the
I've
movie.
related to that song. Yeah, you're right. No, I think so. But I also really like Clueless. That's up there too in my list. But Clueless
A lot
is
of people
based
like
on
that.
a Jane Austen novel, so it's based on Emma.
There's another movie that came out recently that I like that was based off of Pride and Prejudice, and I can't think of what it was.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Bridget Jones' Diary.
Yeah, I actually like that. I used to hate on it, and then finally saw it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's great. P and Z is great too.
I never saw that.
Oh, it's good. I read the book and saw
Oh,
it.
it's already an acronym.
P and Z, yo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Cool movies.
Cool,
No, you
guys.
actually have some good. I know. In all seriousness, you have good movies. I like your list.
Prestige
Thank
is
you.
awesome.
Thank
Yep.
you. That's what I like about getting older is
You get a
Not-
little wiser.
well, no, it's not really caring if the stuff you like is stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's nice. It's
Yeah.
freeing. You know.
Good, guys. This is a good one. A nice long ep.
I know.
I know.
We've talked almost as long as Citizen Kane is.
Seriously. Yeah, you could.
Hopefully, it was paced a little better.
Yeah,
Maybe
seriously.
we'll see.
Well, that about does it for this week, right? We're done.
Yeah,
We're so
I
done.
think so.
We're done.
Yeah, so that about does it for this week. Thank you so much, Sean, for coming.
Hey, glad to be here, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun.
It's fun.
I
We had
wanna-
a lot of laughs.
We did. We had like five really good ones.
500.
3 not so good. Why
Wait.
500?
500 laughs.
Is that a thing? Is that a movie?
No, I was just saying I laughed 500 times.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a good
That was
note.
one of them.
502. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, listener, for joining us. And that about does it for this week of Unhitched or Dad Trying. If you want to check out the recap of this episode, unhitchedordadtrying.weebly.com. If you want to follow us on the internet world, you can follow Lauren at...
I am at Neateroni on Instagram, Neateroni. Sean really likes my handle. Or you can follow me on Twitter at Neatos Tweetos.
Any Twitter updates this week, Lauren?
Sean likes that one too. Not yet, Cameron. I forgot my login. I tried to log in the other day.
Hey, but make sure to follow her there.
Right.
It's a great follow.
Follow me. It's a little outdated,
What
but
are
we'll
the-
get there.
It's still a good account.
And if you know her login, please tweet at her.
Tweet it out like what's his face did with its own password.
Oh, yeah.
Please help me.
And then you could follow myself at Cam Carter 2010 anywhere your internet.
Heart desires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So IGs, your T's,
Tweets.
your FBs. Your,
Sean, do you have anything to plug?
Mine's Sean Aroni.
I really
You know what's funny is I knew Neateroni was your Instagram, but just when you say it out loud, there's just something to that.
It's so stupid.
effect.
I love it.
That's why I laugh. But in a good way.
Good.
I mean that in the nicest way possible.
I know. It was on purposely funny, so.
Yeah, I know.
On purposely?
He knows
funny.
Tweetos.
on
guys.
purposely. Sean, where can we find you on the internet world? Do you wish to be found on the internet world?
Not a ton, actually. I'm more of a consumer when it comes to social media.
All right.
I'm not really a poster.
All right.
Unless
That's
it's
fine.
like
You'll
really,
remain a mystery.
Hey, but good. Hey, try to find me out there. See if
Yeah,
you
good
can.
Let us
Good
know
luck.
if you found him.
It's like the national treasure of social media
Podcasting.
accounts.
Might be better if only
Sean
Nick Cage
Hill.
would make that movie. I found this guy named Sean. I looked dead in the fifth post down. He had a picture of $1. It's a clue. I don't know.
It was Sean-a-roni.
Mind blown.
Guys, someone create Sean-a-roni if it's not
Yeah.
yet created.
Listeners, fans of the show, do it.
Fans of what is that? All right, guys. If you want to join us next week, we'll be here to continue our I Love Movies Month, and we'll see if Lauren's done any tweets. Doubtful. See if she actually got on that Twitter account.
We'll see.
But yeah, thanks again for joining us. If you want to write into our Hard Times segment, unhitched or dadtrying@gmail.com, or a general question for Lauren and I. All right. But we'll catch you next week, everyone. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.